Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today is January 20th, 2022, and today is Thursday morning. So wow, the markets are on fire. So looking at the highlights, gold breaking out of its 1828 resistance above that, and also U.S. markets continue to tumble. Is it a sell-off or is it a crash? Now, there's no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the major markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro bounces and the Australian dollar looks like it's strengthening up. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ continue to tumble. Unbelievable moves. And looking at commodities, oil trades sideways while gold trades higher, as mentioned. And looking at the stocks, it's a sell-off across the board. We're going to take a look at what was the biggest sell-off. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, continues to waver sideways, not lower, not higher. So that's where we're at. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So this is the type of trading we're used to, okay? The euro trading in about 150 pip kind of move, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. We find us settled yesterday at 13-ish level, 1302, and then we're bouncing her at 1350-ish level, which is back in resistance. So all intents and purposes, was this a hiccup? Maybe, okay? We're going to have to look today to see if it breaks above it on the upside. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar, did strengthen. Remember, it was getting down to the 71, 79-ish level, but didn't break below it. And as it traded between these two moving averages, if you look at that, that's the two moving averages there, and then popped above it. So this may be a bullish formation kind of forming in the making, okay? So I'd like to see this continue to go higher versus the US dollar. Now, jumping into commodities, gold, this is where it's at. We're finally breaking above 1828. Now, we're not out of the woods, right? 1870 is the next real resistance-ish level. We are retracing just a little bit here, but a lot of this is going to have to be taken into consideration with what's happening in the US market. So let's just jump straight into it. Looking at the Dow Jones right here at 35,000, getting a little bit of a bounce this morning as it did tumble down to 34,937. Okay, it's still below that 8-day moving average. Look at that. From the beginning of the week, just tumbling, okay, and just breaking further down about 1,000 points in just 3 days of trading. Okay, so that's a major sell-off. Now we are hitting a bit of a support level here at 35,000, so just be aware of it. A little bit above it is a little bit of a support level, so I do expect somewhat of a bounce. Now looking at the NASDAQ also, okay, it did tumble. There was support at the 15,500 level, did breach that, and now we're at 15,100. Now expect the markets to actually bounce. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the individual stocks. Apple sold off. Not as much as I thought it would sell off, but it did sell off. Microsoft sold off further. But Microsoft, interestingly enough, was up at the beginning of the day yesterday. Okay, it did have that up day. Now, if we look at a 4-hour chart, we're right there. That's where we're looking at. This is the support that I'm looking for. Previous resistance, and this is subsequent support. So this is really a very important level for Microsoft. Okay, if it does break it, then it could bring the rest of the market down with us as this is continuing to tumble. Now, looking at Jpmorgan, look at that sell-off. Oh my gosh. It's going from 169 down to 149. It keeps on gapping down. That's serious sell-off. That's a serious sold. Okay, look at that. That's a nosedive even. I mean, we were just last week, we were just pushing higher and higher, and then boom. Okay, this actually shook me out because it looked like it was going to challenge its new highs, and then it didn't. Okay, so unbelievable move for Jpmorgan, $20 for over 1 week of trading. That's a severe move for a stock. Now looking at Tesla, didn't budge down. Okay, it's below 1,000, but not much below. Okay, what is disconcerting is Amazon. Remember, Amazon is really a very important company because Amazon is really telling us about consumer spending, and it looks like consumer spending is waning on the markets, which means we could see further sell-off in the markets. Okay, now looking at Facebook also, some of it didn't sell off much. Okay, so there is a bit of a mixed bag here. Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, nothing doing, 42,000 and just hanging out. Okay, it just means that it's consolidating in this area. Okay, it's found a really good soft landing for now, and potentially you can bounce from here. Okay, so this is something to consider. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.